Welcome to San Recap. Today I'm going to explain a 2021 drama action movie, Nobody. Before proceeding, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment on what your favorite part was, and subscribe to our channel for more. The story begins with a man named Hutch Mansell. He has a wife and 2 children. Every day he does the same things. The tedium of his daily routine is slowly wearing him down. In one of the night he's woken up by suspicious sounds. As he proceeds down the stairs, he hears a noise as intruders break into the house. Hutch picks up a golf club and then runs into burglars. They hold them at gunpoint and demand his goods, though there's not much to go around. They take his watch. Meanwhile, Hutch sees a tattoo on the intruder's wrist. As they demand his wedding ring, his son Blake runs downstairs and tackles the man like in WWE. Behind the intruder, Hutch is about to attack him with the golf club, but stops himself and commands Blake to let the intruder go. He allows them to get away. After some time, the police arrive to investigate. His family are very disappointed in Hutch. One of the cops chimes in, assuring Hutch that he did the right thing, but the other one is of different mind.
If that was my family, I would kick their ass.
On the next morning, Blake asks Hutch if he could interview him for a project on veterans. Hutch responds that he was just an auditor, and Becca suggests Blake ask his uncle, who was a real soldier. Hutch says Grandpa actually saw some action. The family leave the house to start their day. The neighbor tells Hutch he would have beaten the intruders. He brags about his new car and callously explains that it is all he inherited, and there is nothing to mourn. Later at work, Hutch is confronted by a man named Charlie, Becca's brother. Wow.
Chill out, dude.
Charlie gave Hutch a gun so he could use it to protect his family. Eddie approaches Hutch to discuss his fair offer to buy the business from him. He tells Hutch that after a lifetime of hard work he would like a great offer. Hutch tells him he wants the business to have something that is his. Later, Hutch reflects on the incident while drawing the tattoo he saw. Then he enters a room, locks it, and begins talking to a man named Harry. Hutch told Harry about last night's theft and explained that he had deliberately refrained from fighting the thieves because they were desperate people and stole out of necessity. A little bit later, Hutch leaves work and travels to see his elderly father David, who asks him if he remembers who he used to be. Hutch sighs as he watches his family gather around the dinner table and walks into his home. Sammy walks in saying she cannot find her kitty cat bracelet, which was in the bowl with the money that the intruders stole. Hearing about it, an embittered Hutch leaves and comes back to see his father. He borrows his FBI badge and gun. Hutch travels to the city to the tattoo parlors, showing them the 𝐓𝐵I badge. One of the customers laughs and tells him the badge expired about 20 years before.
Oh God.
They ask who he really is. Then Hutch tells them he is just a man looking for someone and pulls out his billfold. He dares them to take the cash from him. They see the tattoo on his wrist, change their attitude and thank him for his service. When the men ask how they can help him, he points to a picture of a tattoo on the counter. They give him the address of the person who has it. Hutch walks to the intruder's apartment. Oh, looks like they're kind of a sweet little couple.
Oh! Surprise.
He gets his watch back and then asks them,
Where is the kitty cat bracelet?
Oh God, what to say, I don't know.
Give me the goddamn kitty cat bracelet.
Their shouting wakes their sick baby, and they beg him to leave. Hutch leaves the house. A vehicle approaches rapidly and crashes into a concrete wall. That was fun. 5 drunk Russian thugs approach the closed bus door. The female bus driver looks afraid as she opens the door. They enter and intimidate the passengers as they approach Hutch sitting quietly at the back of the bus. As they surround the young girl, Hutch stands up and walks through them, convincing the driver to disembark. He closes the bus door and faces the thugs.
Hey guys.
What are you still doing here, old man?
I'm gonna f you up.
He unleashes his frustration and fury and beats them savagely. Bam, boom, bam, boom. Although he is badly injured, he prepares to fight further. Round 2, fight. That's all? Hutch leaves and returns to his home and sees his wife sitting in the darkness. She asks where he went. He tells her it was just like old times and that he misses her, as she gently cleans his wounds. Meanwhile, we see another Russian bad boy. He walks through the crowd towards a group of men. He asks them if they are satisfied with the security for 𝐓𝐚𝐝, which they are. 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 introduces them to Pavel, who is his right-hand man. The spokesman for the group informs 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 that his singing and dancing does not inspire confidence in them as the guardian of their money. He responds by killing one of their stakeholders very violently and asks if their confidence is restored and proceeds to answer his cell phone. 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 stands at his brother's bedside. The man has severe damage to his brain. 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 assumes the attack is related to 𝐓𝐚𝐝. One of the badly injured men in the ward raises his hand showing 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬 a Metro card he had picked up during the fight on the bus. On the next day, Hutch appears happy and confident as he prepares for his day. He receives a phone call from Harry, who tells him to meet with a man known as the barber. He warns him that one of the thugs is the younger brother of 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬, who is a very wealthy and dangerous. The barber gives Hutch the information he needs and says 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬 does not know who Hutch is yet. He says that 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬 will be obliged to avenge his younger brother, even though he despises him. The 𝐒𝐚𝐝 is an operation dealing with hundreds of millions of dollars on the move. 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬 is the current caretaker and has grown tired of the responsibility. He is informed that Hutch's father lives in a nursing home downtown. The man at the Pentagon who has been blackmailed by 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬's secretary checks the archives for information on Hutch. He is listed as nobody. He sends the information to 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬's office. Meanwhile, Hutch prepares a lovely meal for his family and suggests they go to Italy. Going to the window, he sees a car approach and instructs them to go to the basement immediately. 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬 has sent a crew headed by his right-hand man Pavel to attack Hutch at his home. Hutch waits in the darkness. Come on. Boom. Bam, killing one by one. But suddenly Pavel finally subdues him with a taser. They drag Hutch to the car and throw him into the trunk, where he dislocates his wrist to remove the handcuff. Big brain. Hutch finds a fire extinguisher and uses it to blind his abductors. The car crashes into a traffic light. Hutch getting out of the car and runs home to open the basement door for his family. Becca drives away with the children to a safe place. Meanwhile, one by one Hutch places the dead and injured men on his couch and starts to speak.
Let's drink, boys.
He explains that he is a former auditor, an assassin employed by intelligence agencies to kill people who were considered untouchable. He did his work very professionally until he let a target he was supposed to kill for embezzling government funds go free. For once he had listened to the man before he killed him. A year later, Hutch found that Alan had built a new life and family for himself. Hutch decided to retire against the wishes of his superiors. He sees the kitty cat bracelet lying next to a pool of blood under the radio. He sets his basement on fire and takes a photograph of his family with him on his way out. Steals his arrogant neighbor's prized car and drives away. Meanwhile, a car with two assassins arrives at the nursing home. They go directly to David's room, as we can see David is sleeping.
But he is still that fox, haha.
Surprise! Hutch pours a bag full of gold bars onto Eddie's desk and informs him that he is buying the company. 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬 watches footage on the news and realizes that Pavel has been killed. Hutch closes the factory temporarily. Hutch drives to where the mob are counting the 𝐒𝐴𝐵 money and opens fire. He removes a Van Gogh painting before he proceeds to set fire to 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬's priceless artwork and the piles of money. After that, Hutch drives to the club to meet 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬. He reveals an explosive device that was concealed under his napkin and holds the detonator in his hand. 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬 goes berserk when Hutch tells him he has burnt everything he has. Hutch tells him that he can either choose to come after him, or he can take what little remains and flee, and leaves the club. 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬 angrily calls every man on his payroll, and they pursue Hutch to the factory. Unbeknown to Hutch, David and Harry are inside the factory to help him eliminate the gangsters. Using a variety of weapons and deadly traps Hutch had strategically set up. They kill all the gunmen with the exception of 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬, who shoots and wounds Harry. Hutch charges at him with a claymore mine attached to a bulletproof shield and detonates it, killing 𝐒𝐬𝐬𝐬. Hutch calls Becca and leaves a loving message. A kitten appears. He collects a can of tuna, a can opener, and leaves carrying the painting with the kitten wrapped in his jacket. Hutch is arrested by the police, only to be quickly released with no charges filed. We see Hutch and Becca shopping for a new house. It's got a nice kitchen and all kinds of amenities, but does it have a basement? Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.